Once upon a time, in the grand city of Benares, there lived two merchants. Both were leaders of large caravans, each with 500 carts ready for a long journey. They were preparing to cross a vast and dangerous desert to trade their valuable goods in a distant land. This was no ordinary trip. It was a test of courage, wisdom, and character. The desert was known for its scorching sun, its endless sand, and the many dangers that lurked within its desolate landscape. Success meant great fortune, but failure could mean losing everything, including their lives. The two merchants stood at a crossroads, not just of the path, but of the choices they would make. The two men were very different from each other. One was known throughout Benares for his honesty and careful planning. He was a bodhisattva, a person on the path to enlightenment, and his heart was filled with kindness and foresight. He always thought ahead, considering every possible problem and preparing for it. The other merchant was known for his greed and impatience. He cared more about making a quick profit than he did about the safety of his people or the wisdom of his decisions. So, the wise bodhisattva gathered his caravan and made his final preparations. He knew the journey ahead was perilous. He instructed his men to fill huge water jars, far more than they thought they would need. He warned them about the dangers of the desert, especially the cunning yakas, or demons, who were known to trick travelers. As they traveled deeper into the desert, the journey became harder. The sun beat down relentlessly, and the sand stretched on forever. Just as their own water supplies were beginning to run low, they saw something amazing in the distance. It was a beautiful oasis, lush with green trees and a sparkling lake. The men grew excited, but the wise merchant remained calm. He knew this could be a trick. He sent scouts ahead to investigate the area. The wise merchant knew then that this was no ordinary oasis. It was an illusion created by the yakas. He gathered his people and told them the truth. About a month and a half later, the second merchant began his journey. He was arrogant and foolish, believing he knew better than anyone else. He did not bother to take extra water, thinking he would find plenty along the way. He laughed at the idea of desert demons, dismissing the stories as simple superstitions for foolish people. Just like the first caravan, they traveled deep into the desert until their water ran low. It was then that they, too, saw the beautiful oasis in the distance. Their hearts filled with joy and relief. Without a second thought, the foolish merchant ordered his men to break their water jars. "Why carry this heavy load when a great lake is right in front of us?" he declared proudly. They rushed toward the oasis, their minds filled with visions of cool, refreshing water. But as they got closer, the beautiful lake and green trees began to fade away. It was a mirage, a cruel trick of the desert. The foolish merchant and his people stood in shock and despair. They had no water. They were in the middle of a vast desert, and the sun was setting. As darkness fell, the yakas emerged from their hiding places. They were no longer disguised as friendly travelers. They revealed their true, monstrous forms and fell upon the helpless caravan. The people and their animals were weak from thirst and had no strength to fight back. His greed, his pride, and his refusal to listen to wise counsel had led to complete disaster. Meanwhile, the wise merchant and his caravan had safely crossed the desert. They arrived in the distant city, their goods intact and their spirits high. Because they were the first to arrive, they were able to trade their merchandise for the highest prices. Their careful planning and unwavering trust in their leader had paid off handsomely. When the wise merchant returned to Benares, he was greeted as a hero. He shared his great fortune with all the members of his caravan, ensuring that everyone who had trusted him was rewarded for their loyalty and effort. He told the story of their journey, of the yakas' deceptive oasis, and of how their discipline and foresight had saved them. The story of the two caravans became a famous tale, passed down through generations. It served as a powerful lesson about the choices we make in life. This ancient story reminds us that while dishonesty may offer a seemingly easy route, it is a path filled with hidden dangers. True and lasting success is always found on the road of integrity, where careful planning and honest effort light the way forward, ensuring a safe and rewarding journey for all.